What is up, my snow friends? This is the Snow Bard, and I'm actually doing my first review for a One Piece TCG. I would say like gameplay, like over the board instead of online. And this is a preamble here. Is, if I remember correctly, I don't know if this is possible to be seen, but this is a match between Jinbe and Vivi. So I'm playing Vivi, and one of the players over there, JPEX, is playing Jinbe, which is the deck which is the leader that I actually topped, like, what is it, nearly a month ago now. Actually, I'm quite surprised that it already has been that long. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna see if I can lower the volume, everything like that. So in this case, I actually go first. And so I don't actually play anything on turn one. And yes, we kind of like... So the deck actually predicates... So there's two things over here. So the way that I built the deck for Vivi is that I want to go first, because her curve on 5 and 7 is so strong with with Vivi into Nami, and then Vivi 7 cost into Shaka and Pel. So I actually have the aggressive line here, which I don't think Jinbe wants. Jinbe does want to go second because you actually get to flood the board, and it's easier for you to establish a board when you're going second. So simply put, both decks are playing the curves that they actually want. Although for me, if I had the choice, I would actually go second here to steal Jinbei's curve. My thinking. But I'm also okay going first because I actually get to be aggressive for once and see if I can discard a lot of cards in their hand. So one thing to note, I don't know if my cursor is actually visible here. I don't think so. Hang on. Because I want to... No, it does capture cursor. I think it does capture cursor. Well, let's just see. If it doesn't capture cursor, it doesn't really matter. So Vivi has an effect where once per turn, you actually get to discard a card if you're anything above 4,000, anything from 4,000 power above gets KO'd. So I've been thinking about it a little bit more, and it's the fact that Vivi actually gets protection from Emu. Protection. Okay, protection. But they can attack into it afterwards, so I'm like, eh. But let's see. So we're going to focus just solely on Vivi and Jinbe today. And turn one, typical Jinbe fashion, plays Arlong. This is typical turn one Jinbe stuff. You just you can put at least like 1 or 2 bodies on the board, especially 1-drops, because you get to be aggressive going second. And from Arlong, I wonder what he actually takes. Maybe I'll skip a little bit more. Yes, actually. So I might skip here from time to time so that we actually get to I don't know. So he tutors Watatumi from the Arlong. And then, oh yeah, I just casually just draw. So he actually passes the turn here after he searches with Arlong, and then I quickly go for the 5k attack. Wonder what he discards. Trying to remember as much of the game as possible, because like I saw this video like last night when Black Nami uploaded this, but I'm not sure if I was able to like make notes of it. But I'll see what I can actually remember here, because this was a video that we recorded the other night. So yeah. So in this case, he actually discards, he discards a Shirahoshi. So Shirahoshi here is very good on your turn 2 if you're going second with Jinbe, because you put them into promo Arlong or Kurobi or whatever one costs, like Merfolk or Fishman you have in your hand, and it's also a blocker, and it replaces itself. So Shirahoshi is very good. Shirahoshi is very good in going second with Jinbe. I think it's as essential to have 4 Shirahoshis and 4 Aladdin's as well, because you need to have like a turn 2 play as much as possible. So after I've attacked and they countered +1, I actually put Vivi here. So on my turn 2, I have 6 cards in hand, with Vivi being actually one of them. And it draws me 2. And pudding is a factor here, but I don't think pudding is as useful now. I mean, you could just nuke my hand right now and I go back down to 5, but it doesn't really matter because I can just use my life to draw back up and eventually build my board again. So it doesn't really matter what I do here. But a pudding here right now, if I'm going first against any blue player, is very good, I think, especially if I play this. But if I'm more conscious of like playing Vivi, I would of playing around pudding, I would rather not play Vivi here and play something else. But Vivi is like one of my turn 2 plays if I'm going first, which I just inherently passed the turn 2. So he just looks it over, explain the effect. I have 5 cards in hand, so I draw 2. So now most likely things that he can do here is Shirahoshi into Aladdin or something, which Shirahoshi not into Aladdin but into Kurobi instead. Or Wadatsumi is also a good thing, but he loses at 2k. He attacks for 5, and I counter +1 with, that's actually a Vivi over there. This is the new Vivi, 5 cost Vivi, which you'll see later. I'll explain it after. Oh yeah, I'll explain it after. But I counter a +1 here, and then I think he discards a card here to trigger the Arlong. Yes, that's exactly what he does, and I discard a Nami. So this is the Nami blocker from OP11. 5 cost 6k, counter +1, a blocker, and if your leader is multicolored, you actually draw 3, and you can put 2 cards back either on the top or bottom of your deck. Pretty good, especially if you're going to try to be a bit more defensive with your deck. Yes, this is 17 minutes long. I'm going to try to speed up actually, but I'm giving myself my own commentary here, and I just snap Vivi into Nami. So Vivi here is a blocker, 5 cost 4k, and 1k counter, which I had done earlier. And on play, I can play a Straw Hat or an Alabasta type that costs 5 or less, and then I cannot play any other characters for that turn. So in this case, I just put out a Nami, which is 5 cost 7,000, and on play, I can give my active leader minus 5,000 power to draw a card. In Vivi's case, I think early turns you do want to attack with your leader, but as soon as you get to 5 or 6 dawn, you will never attack with her unless absolutely necessary. You want to be using her effect to give your things rush. So on the early turns, it's good to attack, but as soon as that mid game starts with 5 cost, that's when you start spamming your leader's effect. So also, a benefit of Nami is that activate main once per turn. If your leader is an Alabasta type, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. Those small guys, like Arlong, for example. Now I can attack with my weenies, so I can start clearing board as well. So minus 5,000 power on my leader, and I draw a card casually, of course. I activate Nami's effect to give minus 1,000 to Arlong, and I attack for 2. First mistake. I was actually thinking about it last night when I watched it. I could have just given Nami rush right ahead, minus 2,000 power to Arlong. Well, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but I could have found another line. I don't want to say it's a mistake. So my idea here was that I think at the time, I wanted to attack 2-on-2 so that he's forced to discard a card so that he has less of the Jinbe effect. I think. And if I remember correctly, he does counter here, and I don't activate his effect. So now I don't know. So, okay, so based on what I see on his hand, He has a Jinbe, a Red Rock, a Fisher Tiger, which he will definitely play next turn. So, but if he's forced to discard, he has less of an, as I said, he has less of an effect. And I still have the Nami that could attack into the Arlong. And he will be at 0. But I don't, so I think what he does here is he counters out because he can draw back up to with Fisher Tiger, which is fine. I do that with Jinbe too, where I try to like counter as much as I can. Well, maybe not for the, because like in most cases with Jinbe, you kind of have to like let your weenies go if you have bigger ones, because they serve as kind of like your blockers in a way until you establish like Fisher Tigers, Jinbeis, or just spamming board. So both of us actually want to spam board, but since I went first, I can actually be a bit faster. So now I activate my leader's effect, which gives any of my characters without a when attacking effect rush, and I give minus 2k power to someone, to an opponent's character. So I think I gave it to Arlong, which I do. Could have done that earlier, but I actually just poke at, I believe this is a poke at the Arlong, but which forces a Shira block. So what Jinbe wanted to do here, what JPEX actually wanted to do here, is he wanted to keep as many attacks as possible so that I'm forced to take life. I don't remember how many cards I had in my hand, but I'm assuming I had a lot. I think I had enough. I think I had enough cards in my hand. So I'm not sure what he wants to do here. Hang on. So just a quick interlude. I know that he's going to play Fisher Tiger. And that's just like a snap play. Like you just have to, if I'm assuming that's the, or he attacks. Oh, he doesn't do the snap play just yet. He does, or does he? No, I think he attacks the Vivi, which I promptly let go because I don't know why I didn't counter out of that. I'm assuming it's because I didn't have enough cards in my hand that could protect it. So, which is why I didn't counter it. And he promptly plays the Fisher Tiger. So now he can attack a bunch with Jinbe and Wadatsumi, which is totally fine. Hang on. Yes, I'm doing this live, and you can actually, I actually have my phone. Someone messaged me. So, but typical Jinbe turn to like you Shira and then Fisher Tiger. Like this is so typical of a Jinbe deck. I've played Jinbe for a month, and it's just like if you're playing aggressive like this, it's the most typical way to do it. So I'm like, okay, so he discards the red rock because there's no target. And I believe he attacks for 7. Or he attacks 5 with Wadatsumi first, which I will actually take that. And then once he attacks for 7, I can block with the Vivi. When she's about to die, I activate my leader effect. And I discard a suspense, by the way. I don't actually remember my hand. Oh, that's a chopper. Right there, that's a chopper 2k from OP10. That is a blocker, and then on opponent's turn, he gets +6. So this is like, most people would be like, why the hell would you discard a 2k? Because I have something better in my hand that doesn't require 2k. And you're gonna see right on this next turn. I alluded to it like earlier, but you're gonna see the power of Vivi like right about now. And I'm just going to snap do it, or unless I activate Nami's effect first, or I just snap it. Actually, no, I don't do anything. I forgot about that. I actually play Vivi first. Ah, and then you'll see. Now I remember what I actually saw during the game and what I had actually played. So I had Vivi because I actually didn't have the combo in my hand. So Vivi looks at the top 4 and it gets you an Alabasta or Straw Hat that costs at least 2. So you can get basically anything in your deck. So I get the Shaka and Pell. And then I get the... I think I play another tutor here. Yes, I actually do play a second Vivi. So 1, 2, 4 cards, casually. And I get the other one. So I get the other piece. So I get to play that next turn. But this is a different version of the deck. I don't play this deck anymore. But let's see. I mean, let's... So we're just gonna casually minus... Yeah, -2 over there. So, no, it's just -1, so it's a 2k. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I don't know if I attack with Vivi as well. Just trying to remember. So for 3, I play Sanji. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because like on my turn, he's 6k. And when he dies, I draw. Guys, word of advice. If you're trying to play aggressive Vivi, play Sanji. You do not have that much card draw in your deck. You have to put as many as you can. You could play Igaram in your deck, but it's not really like the best option considering 1, he rotates out, 2, you give your leader minus 5,000 power. So whatever you're trying to do, it does nothing. You would rather play like more proactive cards like Sanji. So what I would do is I will activate this and actually give minus 2,000 to Wadatsumi. And I'm actually going to lower the sound of the video. Or maybe my voice is loud enough to do this. So I attack 7 on... Yeah. 7 on... So 7 on 3, 6 on 2. And I clear his board. Seems like a fun way to go. So I had countered... By this point, I had countered like a few, like maybe 4k worth of like cards. And he has a Fisher Tiger. And he has 8. He could absolutely be playing like more stuff here. Just waiting casually what I do next. I think I had like what 6 or 7 cards in my hand. I think that's what I remember having. And okay, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit here. He plays 3 for a Kurobi. So he gains rush as soon as you discard a card. And then when he dies, you draw a card. So with the Jinbe effect, you actually get to... So I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Because this is going to be like one of those times where people have to actually think. So he discards a Jozu. So Jozu here, so you can build Jinbe a bunch of ways. And one of them, for example, hashtag EMB, which I'll also link into this. I'll also link him in the description or whatever video that he has. He has like an aggressive version that plays Law. And he just goes full spam board. Other decks play Jozu as part of like a bounce build, as more of like a more controlled version of Jinbe. I played hashtags list, or my version of hashtags list, that plays aggressive but also plays Inazuma. So Inazuma is that card from EB03, I think, where at the end of your turn, if I have 2 cards in my hand, I draw 2, which means I get to replace Fisher Tiger if I don't have him. But that's my version. His version plays Jozu because you want to bounce like, I don't know, you want to bounce a blocker, you want to bounce an attack. And then, but he discards it to force a 5k attack on the 3k Sanji, which I promptly just draw because I don't mind losing Sanji early. Because here's the thing. I can establish Vivi, I can establish Nami. You saw the two cards that I had tutored beforehand, which is a VV7 and a Chaka and Pel 8. I'll explain more what the cards do once they're played on the board. So now I have 7 cards in hand, if I remember correctly. And he still has like 4 or 5 life, I think. I don't think I've hit him just yet. And I can see that he has a pudding in his hand. I don't know when he's going to use it. So I'll attack. So he attacks for 7 at my life. And I promptly block and just... I discard a second chopper. So, okay. You're probably just going to flame me and be like, why the hell are you discarding choppers? Why? It does not make any sense. Well, think about it from my perspective. On my hand, I probably have good cards in my hand that I want to keep. And so countering with a chopper or like activating leader's effect with a chopper is like, whatever. Like, but I played 12 2Ks in the deck at the time. So I don't care if I discard the choppers. I'm gonna draw the rest. And you've seen one of them, but we'll get into that after. So I protect the Vivi. Blocker, of course. Now there's a Jinbe that's still there. And I believe I did see that he has a pudding in his hand, but I didn't know it at the time. So I'm assuming he attacks for 6k, which I will counter with a 2k, I think. Which, yeah, he'll attack for 6 at the Vivi, which I don't take out. So that's one less blocker for me. I have two Dawn open. Like, well, no, I actually don't have 2 Dawn open. I was just like messing with my hand or something. I don't have Dawn open, absolutely. Because I had played the VV into no, I do have two Dawn open because of the Sanji. I actually did that. So this pudding was a weird play because I had 5 cards in hand, and he wanted me. I guess he was hoping that I wouldn't draw into anything good because I did tutor twice. It does make sense since I tutored twice that I do have like good cards in my hand that I want to set up. And so he wants to nuke the, like, pudding just nukes whatever setup that I've had, which makes sense. If you've tutored twice, they play pudding on you and you're just like, well, I don't have any cards in my hand anymore. I guess pudding is fine when they've tutored, especially when a lot of like, especially when your opponent is tutoring a lot to find like the good cards that they've had. If you nuke their hand that way, not only do they lose the tutor because they've already played it on board, they've lost either setting up the top or bottom of their life or whatever order there is, and they also lose like whatever good card they wanted to get. It is a risk though, because you also have to understand, like, playing pudding is a risk. Because you kind of like, when you play pudding, you're kind of like banking on the chance that your opponent doesn't get anything good. Sometimes they do get better things than when you're putting them the first time. That has happened to me a lot, which is why I don't want to play pudding, and I'm just going to rely on the power of my aggressiveness to make them discard as much of their cards in their hand. So this happens with Ace as well. I think if I were to play first versus Ace, I think I'll have a good time, especially with my deck. There's no video of it yet, but like when I was playtesting, like in the middle, or whatever. Like I had like a few friends that I was playing like Ace with. Vivi's too fast for them, especially if it's their own curve. They're forced to just discard cards that they would have wanted to keep but couldn't. And I'm okay with just like taking life because like I can just be aggressive enough that they can't actually kill me. Could have played the video along, Also, JPEX here on the left, He's a Dragon Ball player, and he's very good at it. So I actually remember this one. I drew 5 cards from 5 that I had to bottom back, and I actually got the combo in my hand. Because he doesn't actually get... So I drew back into the combo that I had tutored for earlier. So I'm just going to slam dunk it. Actually, no. Igaram first. Igaram is a weird card. So I told you about this from earlier. I wouldn't want to play it now considering it's going to be rotated out, or like it's no longer going to be legal starting April. But if you have a month in the Heroines battle, you might as well play it while you can. It's a tutor for an Alabasta card, and you look for 5 cards. So you get to find the combo whenever you want to. It's just that I've pivoted more into like just being like pure card draw and defense instead of like having Igaram, because like especially if you go first or second or whatever and you play Igaram and they attack into it, you have nothing else to tutor. You need to find like other plays. So which is why I'm like, okay. Which is why I don't play it in my deck anymore. But I tried it. It's actually pretty fun. If you're going to go for a pure Alabasta build, it's fine. And minus 5,000 to active leader. I look at 5 cards and put the rest at the bottom. I get a tutor. That's a 1k. I think it's because like I couldn't find anything else. And then activate Nami, get minus 2k, minus 1k, and I just swing into Kurobi, giving him another card. Another card. It doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter because I play 7 and play Vivi. Explaining how Vivi works. 7 costs 4,000 power. On play, you may play... Wait. I actually have the card. Hang on. Slowing things down a bit here. So I actually do have the card. 7 cost. Yes. On play, play up to 1 Alabasta type character with a cost of 8 or less other than Nefertari Vivi from your hand. So you can't play the blocker into the Nami. That's just cheating. Then your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. This is a hand nuke. On turn 4. Think about that. It's a hand nuke and I actually get to cheat out Chaka and Pel. 8 costs 9,000, double attack. On play, you may give your active leader minus 5,000 power during the turn you draw 2 cards. Think about that. You cheat out 2 things. And this one can attack the turn it came in. Fun, right? And you can, yeah, so draw 2, minus 2,000 power, you get to clear an attack. That's how Vivi works. This is like going first, your game plan is clear. You tutor or do nothing. Turn 2, you attack and play something. Tutor, Vivi, Sanji. Turn 5, you play Nefertari Vivi blocker into Nami or a Nami blocker. 7, you do this. Technically, I could have played it. You could play it as early as possible and then just be very aggressive about it. If you don't have it, at least set up for it on the turn after. I would be playing something else on this turn. Like, I don't know, you could play another Nami, you can play a Vivi into Nami, you can do a lot of things. So now he has to bottom a card after I've put the Chaka and Pel down. So he bottoms that. Activates his on play. So now my Vivi is minus 5. My Vivi leader is minus 5,000 power. I don't care. I draw 2 cards. Now I give minus 2,000 power to Fisher Tiger and give Chaka and Pel rush. 7 on 5 on Fisher Tiger gets absolutely murdered. And then I just attack 9k double attack and he just takes 2 life just like that. I'm sorry, what the fucking bullshit is this with Vivi? You're going first and you have this already. Imagine you steal someone else's curve and they have to go first and you go second. You're still doing the same thing plus 1 extra Dawn. What the hell? What the hell is this? What the hell? So I kind of had just to confirm him, like, yeah, this is a double attack. And it's like, yeah, he took 2 life. So here I'm just laughing fucking hysterically because of how fucking powerful this 8 cost is right here. How do you deal with this? How? Well, if you're a deck that wants to go first, please go first against Vivi. You might outrace me. Absolutely. However, if I'm going first against you, you best be damn sure that you're going to be able to find some defense against my Vivi or else you die. Except for yellow decks. I don't know. I haven't really tested that much against yellow decks, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pain. Although with Nami, if I'm going first against Nami, they get a their Nami 5 costs like life check or life burn is 1 turn behind. I think that's actually good. And also because like you force them to discard a card, like 2 cards every turn whenever you attack for 7. I mean, it's still good. So he just casually plays Jinbe, just like puts out the Nami, bounces the Nami. I mean, yeah, sure, like, sure. I'm assuming 4 on the Igaram, which I will absolutely... Oh, I counter out of that. Oh, is he 3k? 4 on... 2 on... I think he's a 3k, so I countered out of that. That's kind of weird. Casually discarding. That's a 7k. 7 on the Igaram, which I will promptly just let go because I can. And now... Wonder what he does with this Jinbe now that this Jinbe has Rush. Oh yeah, Jinbe has Rush when you discard a card. Same with Kurobi, but his effect says when he comes into play, you may rest 2 Dawn to draw 2 cards and bounce a 7 cost or less. So the Nami was bounced. And then you can activate Jinbe as many times as you want and just casually discards. That's 12. That's a 12k attack. I don't remember if this went to my face. Probably did. Probably did. Oh yeah, I just put my dice back because like activating this Vivi once a turn is like, oh. It's fun. Like Vivi's fun. Like I like her. Like I remember when like she when I was playing like her old version where she can't attack but you can pay 2 to give like a card like Rush and then you draw a card. So you're just like you're attacking as much as you want. But I prefer this version, I think. I think this version is fun. Well, I took a 12 hit to the face and I absolutely have no problems with it. I wonder what I do next. I'm at 10 Dawn, by the way. So I shoot her. 4 cards. Do I get the shotgun pal? No, I just get a counter. I believe... Oh, 4 on 4. Yeah, of course. Of course you 4 on 4. That's what you do. And then that's a 7, I think. So discarding... So forcing another discard from Jinbe so that he doesn't have enough cards to discard to basically kill you is actually pretty good. Do that with Jinbe. Just attack their board and force them to discard to protect their board, and then all of a sudden they have no cards in hand. I believe that's a 7. Yeah, another Vivi comes out. Or was it the Nami that I had actually played? So I have Nami in my hand. I don't remember if I have a shotgun belt. No, it's actually the Nami. So I draw a card. Casually. And then minus 1k to what, Jinbe or something? Or do I just leave it alone? Minus 2,000 to Jinbe. Yes. Give Nami Rush. And then activate Nami's effect to minus 3k. So I just go for 7 at Jinbe. Casually do that. So 7 on 7. Okay, that's plus 1k, but like power reduction? How the hell do you get like power reduction on like... What is this? Okay, so 9 on 7. And he counters plus 2 plus 1, so he absolutely has no cards in hand. And I just casually take like attack 4 on the pudding so that she doesn't get to hit me. Or she doesn't hit the Vivi. So I have more attackers in play, which is very good. But 1 card in hand with all of this, with just these two, Jinbe is dead here. Jinbe is dead here. I'm gonna skip ahead. He's just reading the effect once again. So if he tried to attack into one of my characters, I just discard a card, which is fine. So I'm gonna skip ahead like 5 seconds or 10 seconds just to see. So he's thinking. He goes for 12 at life, and I take it. That's 13 at life, and I also take it. Mind you, he's still at 3 life, by the way. He's still at 3 life. And I have to kill him this turn or else I die. But I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. I just play Chaka and Pell again. and just give 5,000 power to my leader and I draw 2 cards. I'll give Rush minus 2,000 on Jinbe. Activate Nami, that's minus 3. I just for formality's sake. And he counters. I go for 9 double attack. I go for 5 lead to force him. So here's how I thought of it would go. He has maximum 9k in his hand. If I had attack for 5, forcing him to like trash, that 7 is vital. Because if he takes that last life, he can only have a maximum of 9, and it's a rush. So in terms of my calculations, he's dead. So he counters out with plus 1. I attack for 7, and just 9 doesn't get to do anything. And I have a lot of cards in my hand. Would I have been able to counter a 22? Probably not. But that was the only way to kill him. So yeah. Yeah, that's them beats. That's them beats with Vivi. Like, my brain sometimes is just like, what the fuck just happened with Vivi? I mean, she's pretty good. Biggest understatement so far is just like, she's pretty good. Like, you don't understand. And no, there is no deck list that I will be making here. I'm just going to be like, here's the video. So, yeah, that's basically it. That's my review of the deck. Those VVs over here are very good in the sense that if you just play like Shaka and Pell, you have like extra attacks. No, like your opponent isn't going to... Oops. You saw what I was like watching. But your opponent's like... Especially with what I did with Jinbe, we're just like erasing his hand. Yeah. That's the most important thing you need to do with Jinbe, is to clear his board. Don't give him a hand. Like... Because if you manage to starve Jinbe, he's dead. So that's the important thing if you're playing Vivi. Especially like your curve is perfect going first. And if you go second to steal someone else's curve, like, I don't know, Emu, you're still doing the same game plan. You're just doing 1, 3, 5, 7 with 1 extra Dawn. And what's really good is that if you're playing 10 costs when you're going second, I don't know, Kaido, 12k that draws 4 cards if your opponent has 3 or less life, which you can easily do with Chalk and Pel with double attack. Or you have like Shanks that KOs at 10 costs. You can KO at 12 after activating Vivi's effect. You can also play Buggy where you bottom 8 any character, and you don't have to bottom the Buggy because you have 7 cost, 5 cost, 7 cost, 8 cost, 8 cost. It's easy to like set. It's easy to like fulfill Buggy's like condition so that he stays on the board and he attacks for 12 afterwards. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on this game, and how maybe it's more of also like a preview of like what you can actually build with Vivi. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, just click your thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm just gonna be making more videos sporadically and not on a schedule, but I don't care. I'm just gonna make videos however I want. And so stay frosty, guys.